Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this webinar. We are about to get started. We're going to talk about our flips, or basically our fix and flips, and our latest opportunity that's live. Your host for the next hour is myself. My name is Jad. I'm the head of real estate at Stake. There's Nahel as well, who is our asset manager at Stake, and we've got a special guest, Tommy from K4, who are our partners in the upcoming fix and flip. On the agenda for today, we have got a market overview that Nahal will walk you through. Then we'll talk about what property buyers are looking for on the market. We will discuss fix and flip and what we've offered so far on Stake and what we've got live at the moment. And then we will invite Tommy to give you an overview of what K4 specializes in, and that will as well help you see why we selected them as a partner. And at the end, we've got time for a Q&A, so please start typing in your questions. We will take some of them on the air and we will answer them. Please bear in mind that a lot of the insights we'll be sharing will hopefully be answered during the webinar. So I'll hand over to Nahel to talk you through the market over.
Thank you, Jad, and thanks everyone for joining us today. Wishing you all a happy new year and hope you had restful time off during the Christmas break. So just giving a quick overview on the market, take a couple minutes here, but essentially it's no secret that the real estate market, especially the residential real estate market in Dubai, has been booming ever since the dip during the COVID pandemic in 2020, where prices went down to just around 600 dirhams per square foot across the city. We've only seen upward trajectory. So there's an annual growth rate of 15%. And this is in the this is in the secondary market only. So these are ready real estate units. So 50% per annum growth year after year from 2020 up until 2024. And what's fueling this growth? So there's a number of different trends. We hear a lot of things in the news and in the market. But there's a couple of things we want to highlight. One is really just the demand and the population growth in the city. And there's a huge demand for properties in these prime areas like DIFC, downtown, Palm Jumeirah, Dubai Marina. There's also been a huge influx of high net worth individuals into the Emirates. Dubai, as a value proposition, offers quite a few check marks for people. There's safety, there's the central location in terms of travel, ease of travel, whatnot. And then, given this demand, just premium, modern, and ready-made homes are in high demand, and that's going to continue. That's continuing to go. And then the question on everybody's lips, really, when it comes to the Dubai residential market, this is the question on the lips of investors from Singapore to London to New York, is can this growth continue, and where is the market going? The fact is nobody has a crystal ball, so we don't know. But what we can do is we can look at some data and look at some trends that potentially can give us a story of what's going to happen next. So we've borrowed here from our friends over at Knight Frank. Knight Frank is, as you might know, one of the leading real estate companies globally. They do a lot of studies and a lot of research. So this is a report published in Q3 of 2024. So Economics 101, when you talk about price of anything, really, it could be real estate, could be potatoes, could be anything that you're looking at. When you look at price increases or decreases, it's influenced by two key factors, two foundational factors. The first one is supply, and the second one is demand. So when you talk about supply and demand, high supply, low demand, lower prices. High demand, low supply, higher prices. Okay, so what we're going to do when we look at the data here is we're looking at supply and we're looking at demand. Let's start with the demand for residential real estate in Dubai. So this is, again, a report from Knight Frank. They looked at a couple of different things. So in the Dubai Urban Master Plan, there's forecast population growth of 2.86% per year, which is quite conservative, because if you look at the population growth from September 2023 to September 2024, So just the most recent data, Dubai is already grown at 4.5% as a population. What does that mean? More demand for housing. And then if you look at over the last 8 years, rather than just the last year, it's actually grown at a really remarkable rate of 5.2% per year. That's totally incredible, right? So based on these scenarios, they looked at the low being the Dubai Urban Master Plan. So by 2040, we hit 5.8 from 3.8 currently. In the medium scenario, we would hit 6.9 million people. And then in the best case scenario, we hit 8.7 million. And based on this, Knight Frank's done the study and found out, how many housing units do we need roughly per year in order to match this population growth. So on the worst case scenario, we're looking at, around 38,000 homes required per annum. And then in a kind of base case average scenario, almost 63,000 homes. That's a staggering number. And doesn't take a genius to figure out supply demand. That's what's driving these price growth, because demand is high. So demand is very high. Another thing fueling demand that kind of isn't often talked about as much is that Dubai is largely a cash-based market. So this is a graph from RERA. It was published by UBS, which basically shows that only about 15% of transactions are mortgage-based. For those of you that are not based in the UAE, you might find that surprising, but that's the reality. So there's a huge potential here for demand to continue to rise as people adopt mortgages when they acquire their properties rather than pay rent. So now that we've talked about demand, hopefully, you've been following makes sense. Let's talk about supply. So this is the kind of forecast from 2024 to 2028 of homes expected to go live. And based on, the knowledge and the past experience of projects not getting handed over on time, usually there's about a 30% delay. We can see that over the next 6 years, there's only 35,000 per year homes coming online. So if you remember before, the low case demand was 38,000. The supply is 35,000. So we don't even have enough potential supply to meet this demand. The other interesting part is on the villa segment specifically, which has even more demand in the last few years, is that the supply is even smaller. So we're only expecting around 19 to 20,000 units by 2025 on the villas. But yeah, so just going into the prices specifically and the breakdown of this supply that's coming online, where it fits. So 63% of the future housing supply is going to be priced between 1,000 dirhams per square foot and 2,000 dirhams per square foot. And again, for those of you joining us from abroad, 3.6 dirhams is about $1. And then, yeah, on the premium, the luxury end, where the prices are between 3,000 and 5,000, it's only 2 to 5%. There's definitely supply issues if the population growth continues to grow this way. And then finally, I'll just finish off here with the affordability of Dubai across other major cities. So this is actually tracking primarily the prime areas. So for those of you that may not be familiar, prime area basically means in different cities, they classify different zones and lump them together as a prime classification. So for Dubai, you have areas like Emirates Hills, Palm Jumeirah, and a couple of others. So what does $1 million buy you in the prime areas compared to other cities? Dubai is quite low on this. So it might seem, for those of you based in the UAE, that the real estate market prices are going up. It's really crazy. But for someone coming in from abroad, Dubai is still seen as an affordable destination for prime real estate. I think that's a very powerful note to keep in mind as well. You have Tokyo, Miami, Sydney, New York, LA, Hong Kong, Singapore. So all good signs. And as we said, we don't have a crystal ball, but this is what is showing. Then more on the qualitative side, just more conceptual. What are property buyers in Dubai looking for? Um, the fact is there's a lot of off-plan plan projects that are coming online. They tend to be smaller in size than existing properties. If you buy off plan, it tends to be years from handover. They don't always have the best layout. Oftentimes, you actually need to spend a little bit more to get it up to standard. And then a lot of the off plan units are in new and remote communities, so you have to spend a lot of time driving. On the flip side, what are end users after? Value for money is very important. They want properties that are ready to move in, spacious in size, very modern looking. So, Dubai is still a young city, but a lot of the buildings were built, in the early 2000s. So we're getting to that point where there's room there for modernizing and making them more suitable, especially considering the older buildings are in good areas, prime areas where you don't have to spend time in traffic, but they need a refresh. So with this in mind, we talked a little again about the what's fueling the price trend with supply demand. We talked about what are buyers looking for currently with existing units. There's a trend that's rising up here in Dubai, and it's quite popular. Anyone that's familiar with the real estate market is already familiar with the concept. But I'll hand over to my colleague Jad here to talk a little bit more about how we came up to fix and flip and about this trend of acquiring properties, renovating them, and looking to hand them over to ready buyers.
So, yeah, as Nahel rightly mentioned, there's been a trend on the market, and this is kind of evident with the stories that we're seeing. Everybody seems to be wanting to get into fix and flip, but it's not for everyone. We are noticing that there's a lot of people kind of trying to get into fix and flip and into this strategy, but in order to be successful, you need really the right formula. You need the right opportunity. So not every single property is flippable. Not all the communities have that potential kind of value add. Not all buildings can be, or apartments or villas can be renovated properly. So you need to really plan properly in terms of design, in terms of execution, really plan out the costs and know before going into the flip process or the renovation process, know what you're getting into. And then you need to rely on trustworthy partners. More on that later, obviously, not just for sourcing the property, but for renovating it, for having the right design in place, and eventually selling it at the right time in the quickest time possible. And that's where we brought the strategy onto stake, right? It took us a few years, but we wanted to perfect things. If you're familiar with our platform, you'll know that there are over 4 strategies now available, and this is a deep dive into the fix and flip. We launched it back in November. We listed the first 2 properties. We've got the third one now live, and it's been quite successful so far. So what we offer is an opportunity for you to invest in suitable properties, right? This is our team of experts, and using our partners, we identify these properties in the right neighborhoods. We identify a budget to renovate and refurbish them in a specific timeline, right? So going into things that we're able to know kind of what the value ask is, and at the end of the day, sell them at a higher value and help you realize that appreciation. So normally, like based on everything that we've shared, seasoned investors are the ones that are getting into fix and flip and are able to renovate, but not with stake, not with us kind of disrupting and doing what we do best, which is democratizing real estate, right? You don't have to have a whole bunch of readily available capital. In some cases, it needs to be in the tens of millions in the bank to be able to tap into this investment opportunity. It's typically reserved to elite investors, but with our network, we're able to bring you this and allow you to reap these rewards in a quicker turnaround time. Next slide, please. So considerations before going into this investment strategy, right? Fix and flips on stake have a typically shorter forecasted holding period. right, are typical strategies, not to deter from them, but they do forecast a whole period of 5 years, right? Because it's an income generating strategy. You need time to kind of start reaping the income, accumulating income, and wait for the property to appreciate in value. Whereas in the case of fix and flip, within a shorter time period, we're able to add value and accelerate that appreciation of value. The way we position this as well, and we structured fix and flips, is that the properties will be sold at a pre-forecasted kind of sale price. So when we list the property on the platform under the fix and flip strategy, it will be attached to a projected sale price. That is the price that we will look to achieve after the renovation is done. That's the price that our partners have put their weight behind, and that's what they consider as achievable. These fix and flip opportunities are not available on exit windows. If you're familiar with Stake Again, exit windows allow you to exit part of your investment or your entire investment without the property being fully sold. Whereas for fix and flip investment strategy, this is not an option because we want everyone to realize an exit at the same time, right? And these properties are not income generating. They're not going to be rented. That means they're not going to be paying dividends on a monthly basis, but they will appreciate in value and allow you to exit at a higher appreciation. So in case you missed our first opportunity, it went live in November. It was a penthouse in Jumeirah Lakes Towers, really beautiful property. You've got the before pictures on top. So you'll see it's a shell and core opportunity. There's literally nothing in the property, not even like bathrooms or cabinets, and there's nothing in the property. Whereas we worked with a design company and a project manager to visualize what the property could look like if we were to spend a certain amount of money on it and really fit it out. You'll see the marble cladding and the kitchen and the bedrooms and so on. We're really reimagining the space. It's got beautiful views of the marina, and it's an investment period of about 12 months, allowing you to realize a faster ROI than normal. Our next opportunity was also listed in November, and it's a townhouse in Mira Oasis. It was a smaller investment value. It was a townhouse that's priced around 2.9 million dirhams. It's in good shape, I would say, but it's not optimally utilized in terms of space. It's fitted out, but it's a community that's over 5 years old, so there's a lot of potential there. There's the Dubai British School that's coming up in nearby, so there's a lot of demand driving towards the area as Dubai expands along the Al and Qudra corridor. So this is how we imagine the space with the partners, and I can report that the title is issued for this property, and we've already started the process to make this a reality, make the pictures a reality within a period of 9 to 12 months. So as a summary, we listed the first two opportunities. They funded in record time. The first opportunity was a funding target of around 7.5 million dirhams, and it funded in just 2.5 hours, even less than that. The second opportunity was Mira Oasis. It was just under 4 million dirhams to fund, including the property price and the renovation budget and the transaction costs, and it funded in a record 32 minutes. Currently, we've got an opportunity that's live in Jumeirah Golf Estates. I'll get into the community in a bit, but I invite you to onboard, if you haven't already, onto the Stake app and visualize like what this opportunity is like. It's already 65% funded. We listed it just around Christmas time, so there is a lot of there's a few kind of lucky investors that got in the past 2 weeks. We invite you to get in the next few days before it sells out. So to go into the opportunity, Jumeirah Golf Estates. Right. Jumeirah Golf Estates is one of the most sought after neighborhoods in the city, in the Emirate, for luxury living. It's got two golf courses. It's built around two golf courses that were designed by some of the elite golfers in the world, the very sought after communities. I've got a few friends that are very into golf, and they tell me that it's a great sport and it's a great location to play. And basically, this is one of the reasons why people want to live in that community. It's transacted as or some of the highest transactions in the city in terms of the value that was added to certain properties. It's really luxurious opportunities. The population has grown massively over the last few years, especially considering that it's a boutique community. It doesn't have really, it's not your JVC or your Dubai Hills where you have large apartment complexes. It's 90% villas in the community. It's well located as well, so it's a short drive away from hotspots like Marina, Media City, and Internet City, and even like it's well located on the 311 highway. If we zoom into the property itself, in the next slide, we basically we can't share with you the specific community or the price or the holding period. I invite you again to onboard on the platform in order to be able to visualize that. But I can tell you that it is secured at a competitive price, and it's really a spacious villa, but that's a bit worn out or dated in terms of finishing and layout, right? The floor plans are not ideal. It is well located. It's right on the golf course. There's no neighbors really bothering you. You just got the green in front of you. It's a spacious 7,000 square feet plus villa, and yeah, it has a huge potential, right? And in a second, I'll invite Tommy Burden from K4 to talk about what they've achieved, right? And this is one of the reasons why we partnered with them on this opportunity specifically, and they helped us in selecting it, they helped us design it, and they will help us execute it. So if you go on to the next slide, please. This is kind of the partnership that we wanted to go in for this opportunity. Tommy, over to you to give us an intro about K4, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Jad, for having me, and thank you, Steak, for inviting me. Yeah, really looking forward to this partnership between us and this project. Just a quick background about me and about K4, of course. So. I moved to Dubai in 2017, and I've been doing real estate since then. I used to work in one of the biggest companies here in Dubai, real estate companies, when I met clients of K4, investors working together with K4. And a long story short, I was really impressed with the way K4 was working, at the speed they could execute projects, and more importantly, the quality and the finish that K4 could deliver. And now, a few years later, here I am as head of sales for K4. So who are K4? We are a group of companies. We're an umbrella of companies where we cover everything real estate related, I would say. So mainly, we are experts in finding what we think are undervalued properties. We have a look at market transactions and different communities, price per square foot comparisons. We are in contact with every single agency in Dubai and agents trying to find the best deals on the market. We source out these deals for our clients, of course, but more importantly, we are a fit out and a renovation company. So it's a Swedish-owned company. We are over 500 employees. We are what's called a turnkey company. So we cover everything from A to Z, from start to finish of each and every project. What that means is we don't do any subcontracting. We have everything in-house. So from start to finish, we have estimators counting on every single dirham being spent on the project. We have a team of 30 designers and architects in-house that are creating our drawings and our 3D renderings for each and every project to show you and show our clients what the end result is going to look like. We have project managers, of course, in-house. We have our own joinery for every detail within the house, for metal and for wooden features. The joinery is all done in-house as well. By working this way and everything in-house, we can really customize every project. We can assure that the timeline that we promise on each project will be delivered on time. We can also quality control every step of the way. We have about 35 projects currently ongoing in Dubai in different communities. We have broken selling price records in multiple communities, and we're still holding some record selling properties, both in terms of total selling price, but also price per square foot record in Jumeirah Islands, for example. I will show you a couple of pictures here in just a minute. We have won multiple awards for our villas. So if you scroll down to the next slide here, I can show you a couple of the awards that we have won. So Virtue Zone, for example, in 2023, Architecture Firm of the Year. We are proud of that one, of course, and the Dubai Top 50 Homes competition here last year, where we were awarded the number one prize, the Platinum Award, Best Residential Home in Dubai for a villa we did in Jumeirah Islands. Lovely property, that one. We also won the CID Commercial Interior Design Award for Best Residential Home for the same property. So really proud over those ones. If we go down to the next pictures, and this is a villa we did, and the one where we broke the record in Jumeirah Islands for the highest selling price, and we are still holding the highest price per square foot ever within the community. So managed to source this villa. It was stood empty, abandoned for many years as a shell and core villa. We took this on. We extended the plot. We did a full fit out of this one to a very nice finish, and then sold it now in May last year for 32.5 million dirhams. This villa is a flagship villa in Jumeirah Islands, I would say. Going on to the next, we have a villa that we have just sold now on Palm Jumeirah. So this type of villa is called a central rotunda, and on the Palm here we have extended the plot, so you can see we have a much larger plot now. We have completely reconfigured the floor plan within this house, open it up as much as possible. We have now new big windows, letting plenty of natural light coming into both to the kitchen and to the living room and dining area. Lovely villa that was just sold. Going on to the next, here's another one, also just recently sold, a villa in Jumeirah Islands as well. But you can see here from the timeline for a villa of this size, you're looking at from acquisition to exit around 1 year. That is what it took for this specific investor, and that's usually the timeline that we say to investors. Going on to the next. Oh, yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for having me. I'll be staying on to the Q&A questions. Any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate that. There was a question actually right away for a link. I'm assuming it's an onboarding link, so you can just scan this link on the screen and do the onboarding if you haven't already. Just to summarize, you need to upload a proof of address and a passport. Our compliance team is on standby to onboard you in the quickest time possible and allow you to start investing. I'll take one question which was asked already, and I invite everyone else to type in their questions if you've got them. We're here for a bit longer to answer them. One question was about a minimum investment amount, which is standard as per usual with Stake. It's 500 dirhams to start investing, which is around $130 US dollars. And it really allows you to experience this firsthand without committing a large amount. We have a lot of investors that try this out and then get antsy to invest more. So that's why the minimum is quite low. But obviously, the investment period for the flip that is currently available for the fix and flip is 18 to 24 months. I can share that K4 will be the project managers and contractor on this property, right? And they've already worked on the design, and you've seen the pictures and the success stories that Tommy has shared. They know what they're doing, really. We've visited many of their properties, and they know what they're doing. So hopefully that the renovation timeline will be quite quick. We're expecting under a year, hopefully, and then try to sell as quickly as possible. So I will look at more questions. I'll take one here. How are returns distributed, dividends, or at the end of the flip? So that's a great question. This is not an income generating property. It's like you're basically investing whatever value you invest now, you're looking to get it back at the end of the investment period, plus any gains that were made on the investment, right? So it's not it's not paying out dividends at the end of every month. It's not rented out. It's not generating any revenue. But what we do at the beginning is we cover the duration of the investment in terms of operating costs, paying out service charges, basically paying any fees that are applicable. You can see all of that on the app when you onboard. And then we take that cost, we take the renovation budget upfront. We take a budget for any cost overruns. So just in case there's additional works that are not foreseen, hopefully there isn't any, we will budget for that. We'll take that into consideration, and then we'll fundraise also for property value and the transaction costs, such as the DLD fee, the stake acquisition fee, and the broker fee. And then at the end of the investment period, when the property has been fully sold, for the projected sale price or potentially higher, we distribute all the proceeds from that, and you get a big payout, hopefully, into your wallet, and you can withdraw them straight to your bank account.
Yeah, I also see a question here. Quite a few people have asked how, if we can send the link. So in case you haven't onboarded yet, so the QR code on the screen here, you can download our app through it if you haven't done so already. And once the app is downloaded, it's pretty straightforward. Within 2 to 3 minutes, pop in some information, and then you can get your KYC done and you become an onboarded user. And from there, you're able to invest. And in case you have any questions with regards to that process, please do send us an email, or once you do sign up, your client relations rep will be able to explain. Yeah, we'll be able to walk you through the process of onboarding. Essentially, it's really, really straightforward, and that's what makes Stake unique. We're leveraging technology to democratize investing to real estate. These kinds of opportunities, guys, they wouldn't be available to anyone really, unless you have a certain level of capital. So with Stake, you're able to tap into these types of investment opportunities on a much smaller ticket. So that's for that question. So scan the QR code, download the app, and onboard.
There's a question here from Marwan, I believe. On what basis do we set or predict the exit price, or the price at which we will potentially sell the property? And that's where due diligence, whether it's in-house or with partners, we've got we work very closely with some of the top brokerage partners in Dubai, and we work very closely with K4 on the subject. They have the experience, right, renovating and selling villas in JGE. I'll invite Tommy in a bit to share some light on that. But yeah, when we go into the opportunity, we look at the purchase price. Is it within the market range or below? Are we securing this investment at the right price? So we do the valuation with a third party that's regulated by RICS in the UK. The valuation report is published, and then we consult internally, but with the partners as well, and with the valuation companies that we work with on what they believe that property will be able to achieve at the time of sale. So we look at how much money are we spending on the property, what type of materials, what's the design and end product looking like, and we kind of predict based on that. We make an very educated guess, and we try to always over deliver with that, as we always try to do with our exits. Tommy, would you want to give maybe some information onto the property that actually K4 are doing a couple of similar properties in JGE at the moment?
Yes, we are. We are doing 4 of them at the moment, actually, in Jumeirah Golf Estates. We started now with one project about 8-9 months ago now, and that is going to be completed here very soon. It's a very similar property to the ones you are looking at here. my personal opinion is that you will actually overachieve on this price that you're targeting. I think price per square foot makes a lot of sense. These villas have features that many other villas do not have, such as a basement, for example. You have a direct golf course view. It's a very good location within Jumeirah Golf Estates. And as long as the design is right, and you don't compromise on quality, I see no reason why you wouldn't achieve the price you're looking for, and then some.
Thanks, Tommy. There was an answer. So Aesio, I think, if Flavio, I'm butchering your name. I'm terribly sorry. But you're getting a double answer for me and Fahad. So asking about updates on the property, pictures during the renovation process, and Fahad from our product team has been working very closely with this. I can guarantee that he's very passionate about it. Basically, our product team is enabling us to share updates on the opportunity, on the investment on a monthly basis or more if needed. I can give you a kind of an update on the first two opportunities. You've already notified investors through the app and shared with them a very detailed project plan. They can see on the app what the progress is going to be like. When are we forecasting? Like, I'll give you an example. The kitchen works to start, the kitchen works to be done, the master bedroom works to start, and so on. And we'll share updates, we'll share pictures, we'll share videos, hopefully through the app. So we're trying to be as transparent as possible. An anecdote is essentially, rather than getting dividends at the end of the month, you're getting a detailed update. Our investors are also basically asking for this. So our team are asking for this. So this is something that we want to deliver as much as possible, and give you as much detail as possible and involve you in the process. We'll take you on site with the K4 team in this case, and so on. Additionally, another question that you asked as well is if we're not able to get the desired price for the exit. So that's one of the reasons why we have something called a key fact statement that's published with every opportunity. You can go into detail there and see what the recourse is. I'll share with you on a high level kind of how that works. So when we say an investment timeline of 18 to 24 months, that means our aim is to sell it by 18 months. We'll look to achieve the projected exit price for the opportunity. And then if we receive an offer above that, then we will immediately go with the sale and we'll distribute the proceeds from the sale as soon as possible, thereby maximizing your annualized return on investment. If for whatever reason we're not able to achieve that price, then we will keep trying for a period of 6 months in that case until the end of the investment holding period, which is 18 to 24 months. And if by the 24th month we still haven't, for whatever reason, realized the sale, then we will reach out to investors and propose to them that you can continue holding this property. We can change its strategy to an income generating strategy, and we can rent it out and we'll share the figures and what the return is like. Or the other option will be to maintain this as a fix and flip and hold out for an additional 3 months. So extend the holding period by an additional 3 months and look to realize the sale. But I definitely go back to the point that I mentioned earlier, which is we go into these opportunities knowing that the sale price is achievable. Touch wood, hopefully it doesn't. It is something that's quite achievable, and that's why we work with these partners to achieve. Hopefully I answered your question.
And just to add to what you were just saying, from K4's part, we will give you daily updates on what's happening on site, and we also provide full documentation from start to finish. So that is something you can share with anyone wanting those documents.
Thanks, Tommy. Do you want to answer, Khalid, I think?
Yeah, so Khalid, you're asking how does the renovation increase the value of the property while new developments are coming into the market with upgraded specs? What is being considered different from developers on renovation? So Excellent question. Thank you so much for bringing that up. The fact is that there's two factors to look at. One is the price per square foot. So a renovated villa is very different from a brand new off-plan property from a price per square foot basis. We can have a more deep dive into the specific numbers on a one-to-one basis, but if you do a bit of research in the market, you'll notice that the off-plan at this level of quality, what's being delivered are much more expensive than what you would have getting existing asset and upgrading it. So that's the first part, is the price per square foot is very different from the off-plan new properties, and also getting a new one and upgrading it. So the second thing is just the quality of work. Again, if you at this level of project, and again, once you onboard, you'll get more information about specifically the opportunity we're looking at, but it is kind of at a higher lugment. The quality of work that's being delivered more on a renovation basis, it's usually more custom, high end compared to what you would get from a developer. So hopefully that answers your question. Can't get into too many specifics, but as we said, if once you onboard, download the app, onboard, you'd like to learn a bit more about this particular opportunity, or you have other questions, we can discuss on a one-to-one basis. Our client relations team will reach out to you. Yeah. There was also a question about the if you do recurring payment or recurring investments. So all of our investment opportunities are one-to-one. So once you fund your wallet, you're able to invest in specific opportunities. So we already went through, 2 different fix and flips that were fully funded. So once those properties and opportunities get listed, by the time they're funded, you can no longer invest into it. And then if you do want to do recurring investments, we also have an auto invest feature where set and forget passive investing, you just do a certain amount that you want to deduct from your account on a monthly basis, and then that gets auto allocated to you according to an investment strategy that you prefer. So according to your risk profile, basically. Once you onboard, your client relations team will be able to go into much more detail with you regarding both auto invest and also how to potentially allocate your funds and opportunities that are up and coming. There's another question: how is the ROI of this investment more competitive than investing in stocks? So of course, we do not give investment advice. Do your own research. But traditionally, real estate is seen as a more safe investment compared to stock. And in terms of liquidity and whatnot. But thanks for that question. Shad, I think you wanted to.
Yeah, I think we've got one more, and if last call for questions, if you've got any questions, please type them in so we can answer them. But I think this will be the last one. So the property market has been growing considerably, and this trend is bound to reverse at some point. Fair, agreed. It's cyclical, like every real estate market in the world. So what are some strategies that Stake employs to limit losses and liquidity from lack of exits? I mean, the reason why real estate is such a preferred asset class for a lot of investors, a lot of the more investors, is that it's tangible real assets. The real estate never goes down to zero, right? As Nahel said, we're not giving very thorough, or we're not giving you like investment advice. Please do your own research. But from what we believe in, from what you can see on our social media, on our LinkedIn, on our Instagram, you can see what Stake has in terms of measures against, like, to protect investors from potential losses or liquidity. You hold, right? Real estate is something that is never going to go down to zero, so you hold it for a longer period and you wait for the upcycle to resell. but the indications are there. We shared the market overview at the beginning of the webinar, and it really shows that Dubai is on an upward trend. All the indicators are in favor. There's a lot of push from the government and from the kind of bigger investment institutions to make this a successful and evergreen investment city, right? And we're seeing a lot of centimillionaires flocking to the city because of the safety that is available, because of what kind of education is now available. The reasons are endless. So yeah, that's my 2 cents personally, but also why we believe in real estate as an investment. Thanks very much, Ralph, for the question. I think that's us for today. Hopefully, we answered as many questions as possible, shared some insights into the fix and flip opportunities that we have. And again, as a reminder, you can go scan the QR code that's on the screen, onboard on the app, and start investing today with Stake. Grab this opportunity before it's gone in a few days, I would say. At most, it's moving fast, so hopefully you get your chance to invest. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Nahed, for joining us, and speak to you soon.
Thank you.